Chapter 13 Mysterious Water Pill. Match. Start. After announcing the start of the match, the referee rapidly retreated. Bei Bei and Shu Sanqi then released their martial souls almost simultaneously. The soul-dueling arena that had previously been clamoring instantly became silent. Everyone's attention now focused on the two people in the arena. As influential figures within Shrek Academy's outer courtyard, every single duel between Bei Bei and Shu Sanqi would shake one to the core. The other students loved it when they fought against each other. Furthermore, there were even many students who privately made bets against one another. Blue lightning gathered around Bei Bei's body, and his right arm expanded rapidly. As the blue lightning reached his body, his martial soul, the blue lightning tyrant dragon, was released. On the other side, Shu Sanqi didn't show any weaknesses at all. His body expanded once again, causing his uniform to stretch outwards. Following that, the massive tortoiseshell shield appeared in his right hand again as well. The two began to slowly walk around the outside of the arena as they stared at one another with piercing gazes. The strong soul force that was being emitted from the two of them, one blue and one black, increased in strength unceasingly. The differences between the two different types of soul force could clearly be seen. On the surface, they looked like they were evenly matched. Both of them were soul elder experts that possessed 3 soul rings, and both of them were battle type soul elders. From their martial souls, Bei Bei was clearly an assault system soul elder, while Shu Sanqi, who possessed a shield, was highly likely to be a defense system soul elder. One of them had the blue lightning tyrant dragon that was known as the martial soul with the highest amount of attack power, while the other had a mutated martial soul that had an enormous level of defense, the mysterious underworld turtle. It was hard to say who would win. Wang Dong seemed to have forgotten about his issue with Huo Yuao as he silently began to concentrate on the two people in the arena. Huo Yuao was the same. Their moods had involuntarily fluctuated towards following the two competing soul elders. After releasing his martial soul, Bei Bei's gentle temperament instantly turned sharp. On the other hand, Shu Sanqi's hot temper seemed to have cooled down, and a mountain-like stability had appeared. When Shu Sanqi reached the area that was closest to Huo Yuao and the others, Bei Bei suddenly roared and charged towards Shu Sanqi like a bolt of lightning. Shu Sanqi was slightly startled. He hadn't exposed any weaknesses, and this wasn't a great opportunity for Bei Bei either. When did Bei Bei become so impulsive? Although Shu Sanqi thought this in his heart, he didn't dare to be slow at all. He was extremely clear on the explosive power that Bei Bei could release when he attacked. When Bei Bei was only 5 or so meters away from Shu Sanqi, he suddenly leapt upwards and sent his right arm, which was covered with thick scales, towards Shu Sanqi's head. Blue lightning wrapped itself around Bei Bei's draconic claw, signifying that he could release his soul skill at any time. However, Shu Sanqi remained calm and unhurried. He slightly shifted his right foot back half a step and slightly crouched down. He placed his shield in front of his body, allowing it to completely protect his body. Meanwhile, pitch black soul force surged out from his tortoiseshell shield, faintly forming a black halo of light that both shrouded and protected him. Boom! Bei Bei's draconic claw collided ferociously against the thick black tortoiseshell shield, causing the two of their bodies to simultaneously shake. Bei Bei rapidly halted his attack and fell back, while Shu Sanqi slid backwards. Of Shu Sanqi's 3 soul rings, his 100-year soul ring suddenly lit up, causing the black light emitted by his tortoiseshell shield to immediately be doubled. A strong black halo spread out from his shield, covering a full 10 or so square meters. It was like an enormous hood that pushed outwards. It even emitted rumbling sounds as it was released. This was mysterious underworld quake, Shu Sanqi's first soul skill. This was a wide-range knockback skill that also had a dizzying effect. If his opponent's cultivation was inferior to his, they would feel dizzy and be knocked backwards. At the very least, this skill could allow Shu Sanqi to pull some distance from his enemies. However, Shu Sanqi never expected Bei Bei to be so determined. When Shu Sanqi released his first soul skill, both Bei Bei's second and third soul rings unexpectedly lit up at the same time. The first to activate was his third ring, which was his 1000-year one. As its light expanded outwards, a low rumbling sound suddenly exploded from Bei Bei's body, causing his entire body to emit strong bluish-purple lightning. The scales on his right hand spread rapidly towards his body, encapsulating the right side of his chest within them. Following that, the aura surrounding his body instantly rose. This was thunderous fury. Following that, his second soul ring flashed, causing many thick electric snakes to instantly burst outwards from Bei Bei's body. When Bei Bei combined his second and third soul skills, they managed to negate Shu Sanqi's mysterious underworld quake. Even if Shu Sanqi was widely recognized for his defense, his mysterious underworld quake wasn't able to knock Bei Bei away. A hole was forcibly torn into the black hood formed by Shu Sanqi's skill. Bei Bei ignored the assaults of the black streams of air and stubbornly forced his way in. Shu Sanqi was startled, but his movements didn't slow down in the least. His second and third soul rings also lit up in succession. He was all too familiar with Bei Bei's power, and was extremely confident in his own defense. Although he didn't feel 100% certain that he could defeat Bei Bei absolutely wouldn't be able to beat him if he concentrated firmly on his defense. However, in the instant that he released his second and third soul skills, he suddenly felt as if his brain had been pierced by a needle. A trace of fuzziness instantly appeared in his consciousness, causing his 2 soul skills to suddenly turn sluggish for a moment. He'd actually been unable to immediately release them. Bei Bei's pouncing body suddenly turned illusory. This was the Tang's exposed shadow perplexing tracks. His body crouched slightly downwards, and his entire body seemed to slide along the ground. He used his right claw hook onto the bottom of the tortoiseshell shield, while simultaneously sliding behind it. Even if Shu Sanqi wanted to release his soul skills, it was too late. Letting Bei Bei get around his shield like this had already doomed him to tragedy. Bei Bei used his right foot to stamp directly on Shu Sanqi's calf, and underneath the strengthening effects of thunderous fury, the lightning of vigorous thunderbolt instantly surged forth. In the next moment, Shu Sanqi's body was only able to tremble in its original location. On the other hand, Bei Bei's enormous draconic arm dug directly into his shoulder. The outcome of the battle had been settled. Just like that, the match had ended even faster than most people had expected, so much so that there were many people who simply hadn't seen what happened. Bei Bei had gone around Shu Sanqi's tortoiseshell arm as defense and then subdued his opponent in order to obtain victory. Bei Bei wins. The referee's voice rang out, announcing the victor. He didn't stop Bei Bei from throwing Shu Sanqi to the ground either. Shu Sanqi's bodily resistance was indeed extremely strong, which was shown by how his trembling immediately stopped when Bei Bei withdrew his lightning. However, his words were still somewhat scattered. You were cheating. Although he didn't know how Bei Bei had cheated, he knew that he definitely wasn't the reason for his soul skills being slowed down by half a beat earlier. Furthermore, he'd been fully concentrated on his defense. The fact that Bei Bei had actually been able to find the weakest spot in his defense in only a single moment was completely outrageous. Cheating my ass. If you want to bet with me, you have to accept your loss. Give me the mysterious water pill you owe me. Bei Bei smiled as he used his draconic claw to pour a bit of his lighting type soul force back into Shu Sanqi's body, causing Shu Sanqi's tall body to tremble all over once again. How could Shu Sanqi know that a person in the stands had already fainted solely for the sake of helping Bei Bei beat him? That's right, the piercing pain that Shu Sanqi had felt in his brain when he wanted to activate his second and third soul skills had come from Huo Yuao's purple demon eyes and spirit shock. Even though Huo Yuao's cultivation wasn't that high, the instantaneous attack power generated by the combination of the 2 skills still made Shu Sanqi, whose body had been completely protected by soul force, suffer a loss. Huo Yuao had been roughly 30 meters away from Shu Sanqi, which was perfectly within the range of his spirit shock. Not only that, before releasing these 2 skills, Huo Yuao had even used his spiritual detection and spiritual sharing in order to help Bei Bei find a weak point in Shu Sanqi's defense. It could be said that this short instant was Huo Yuao's best performance since becoming a soul master. He had consecutively used 3 soul skills, as well as the purple demon eyes, to forcefully direct the outcome of a match between 2 evenly matched adversaries. The scenes before the match, the few gestures that Bei Bei had made towards Tanya had been meant to tell her to ask Huo Yuao to help out, and the reason that Bei Bei had unleashed his attacks on Shu Sanqi when he hadn't received any opportunities was because Tanya had told him the range of Huo Yuao's spiritual detection sharing. This victory actually belonged to the combined efforts of both Bei Bei and Huo Yuao. Other than Tanya and Bei Bei, who was in the arena, Wang Dong was the only who'd sensed it. When Huo Yuao had used his soul skill, although he deliberately controlled the soul ring that had appeared below his feet so that it didn't rise upwards, how could he hide the undulations of soul force released by it from Wang Dong, who was sitting right next to him? Wang Dong clearly saw a faint gold color appear in Huo Yuao's eyes, which had almost instantaneously turned much more vibrant in the next moment. Finally, a purple light had flashed through them. Right after that, he directly tilted towards him, unconscious. As Wang Dong subconsciously held onto Huo Yuao, the match in the arena had already finished. What happened to him? Wang Dong asked with an astonished tone. Tanya was also startled when she saw Hua Yuao collapse. She hurriedly examined Hua Yuao's condition before letting out a sigh of relief. He's simply overdrawn his soul force. There's nothing wrong with him. Let's go. It was better to leave the crime scene after doing something bad. Furthermore, Tanya was inwardly puzzled. How had the effectiveness of little Yuao's spiritual detection sharing been so great? Bei Bei's original intention had just been to use it to let him take the initiative in the fight. Bei Bei and Shu Sanqi's cultivation level were about the same, so the person who was able to seize a decisive opportunity would have the best chance at victory. However, she never thought that he'd actually win the match in one blow. Hua Yuao was truly too exhausted. After a full day of physical training, combined with the many times that he'd used his soul skills, the overexhaustion caused him to fall into a very thorough unconscious state, where he wouldn't be able to wake up for quite a while. This was also one of his body's self-defense mechanisms. Tanya and Wang Dong carried Hua Yuao back to his dorm room together. By the time they reached the dorm, Bei Bei had caught up. After using his soul force to help Hua Yuao's body recover, he took out a porcelain bottle and pumped out a medical pill, which he shoved into Hua Yuao's mouth. Yuao's mouth. Little brother, please take care of him. Upperclassmen weren't allowed to enter the dormitories of lowerclassmen. This was a rule set by Shrek Academy. Thus, Bei Bei could only ask Wang Dong to help him out. Wang Dong's gaze was slightly blank. He came from a prestigious family, so he was knowledgeable about many things. Earlier, he had clearly seen the pill that Bei Bei had taken out. It had been a dark blue pill about the size of a cherry, with many veins of various shades of white on its surface. When he'd taken it out of the porcelain bottle, the pill had even been surrounded by a faint layer of mist. Furthermore, its fresh smell that had lingered in the air was something deeply refreshing to the mind. Was that a mysterious water pill? No way. Wang Dong was gobsmacked. It wasn't only him. Even the old man who was lazily reclining next to the entrance widened his eyes slightly for a moment before he returned to his original state. Tanya asked Wang Dong, little cutie, when little Yuao wakes up, please remind him to go buy some fish tomorrow. When I get back, I'll prepare another set of what I gave him earlier today. Bei Bei unhappily retorted, you only know how to eat. You almost harmed my little junior brother today. Tanya humped and said, don't give me that. I know that you already had bad intentions towards Shu Sanqi behind his back. That guy's as dumb as a rock. So sure enough, he was duped by you. You just happened to grab the opportunity. Bei Bei innocently said, if someone wants to give me a present, what else can I do but receive it? All I can say is that our little junior brother's luck is quite good. Let's go back and cultivate. I remember a certain someone who said that she'd give me a kiss if I were to beat Shu Sanqi. You should keep your promises. Tanya stuck her tongue out at him. I asked you to beat him until he wasn't even able to take care of himself. Did you do that? If not, go cultivate. Wang Dong suddenly said, Senior Tanya, please consider my question for a while. I really want to join the Tang sect. Tanya nodded her head and waved at him, while Bei Bei revealed a pondering look on his face. Afterwards, he smiled at Wang Dong before pulling Tanya away. Wang Dong carried Hua Yuao back to their dorm room and placed him onto his bed. The image of the pill that Bei Bei had fed to Hua Yuao was still present in his mind. After softly shaking his head and glaring fiercely at Hua Yuao, he muttered to himself, I'm not scared of getting an eye infection after seeing what I wasn't supposed to see. Sleeping on a hard bed serves you right. Whilst speaking, he jumped back onto his own bed and started meditating in a cross-legged position. The physical training that he'd undergone today had also been extremely effective. Hua Yuao's sleep this time around was especially sound. Ever since he'd entered the Tang sect, he'd been bitterly cultivating the mysterious heaven technique. This was the first time since then that he'd been able to sleep peacefully. In his dream, he felt as if he was immersed within a relaxing pool. The ensuing feeling of relaxation caused him to let out a moan. Not long after starting his meditation, Wang Dong opened his eyes once again and looked, astonished, towards Hua Yuao, who was still lying on his bed. He'd been roused after sensing the strong fluctuations of soul force in the air. Sure enough, the strong fluctuations of soul force he'd felt were being emitted from Hua Yuao's body. It was already nighttime, so the faint blue light that was coming from Hua Yuao's body was especially noticeable in the dark. Wang Dong jumped down from his bed and squatted quietly beside Hua Yuao's bed to carefully observe him. He discovered that Hua Yuao's skin seemed to be rising and falling slightly. Furthermore, as it rose and fell, a few tiny streams of air were being continuously emitted from his pores. These were the fluctuations of soul force that he'd sensed. Furthermore, the faint blue mist surged unceasingly into his pores before surging back out and, following the passing of time, the color of the mist gradually turned slightly darker. At the same time, the refreshing smell in the air gradually weakened. It's the mysterious water pill. It's actually the mysterious water pill that's worth 10,000 gold. Why would Senior Bei Bei casually give him such a precious pill? Don't tell me that he gave Hua Yuao the wrong pill. Wang Dong spoke to himself with a shocked tone. After a brief moment of shock, Wang Dong planned to return to his bed and sleep. However, he suddenly thought of something, and somewhat helplessly walked towards Hua Yuao's bed. He then waved his fist around and humphed. Thanks to you, I can't sleep even when I have a bed. Humph, just wait. As he spoke, he rolled out his bedding and put it away in his storage-type cell tool. Afterwards, he quietly left the dorm room. No one knew where he went. Not long after Wang Dong left, the smell emitted by the mist surrounding Hua Yuao's body gradually turned from a sweet smell to a fishy smell, and its color also darkened even more. Following that, Hua Yuao's breathing became increasingly calm. This time around, Hua Yuao's sleep was truly relaxing and peaceful. The thing that finally woke him up was because of how sticky he felt. Once his consciousness had returned, he couldn't help but sneeze loudly. Holy shit, this smell. What's this smell coming from? Hua Yuao rolled over and sat up. He subconsciously thought that this was Wang Dong doing something crazy to him. However, when he opened his eyes to look at the bed opposite him, he discovered that it was barren. Wang Dong wasn't in the room. It was still dark outside when he woke up, but Hua Yuao quickly discovered that something seemed to be off. He could see every single bit of detail within the room, almost as if his eyes weren't affected by the darkness at all. In the past, although he could have achieved this level of vision, it would have required him to both circulate his soul force and release his spirit eyes. But now, he didn't even need to use his martial soul to reach the same level of vision. When he looked downwards, he discovered that his uniform had actually turned pitch black. The stinky smell that he'd complained about was coming from his uniform. Moreover, a layer of pitch black filth had also appeared on his skin where the uniform didn't cover it. He felt as if he'd been dropped into a pile of sludge before being thrown back onto his bed. I'm pretty sure that Wang Dong doesn't hate me this much. Hua Yuao was left somewhat speechless as he looked himself over. When he stood up, he noticed that his wooden bed was covered with a dense layer of black filth. Just what was this? The smell that was present on both his body and the bed were truly too unpleasant, so he didn't bother to carefully ponder what exactly had happened. He jumped off his bed and rushed to open the dorm room's windows. Immediately afterwards he ran out of his dorm room and went directly towards the bathroom located at the end of the corridor. The filth that was covering his body felt greasy. The time that it took for him to clean his bed and wash his clothes, combined with cleaning himself, all in all, took about an hour of his time. When he finally sat back down on his bed, Hua Yuao had a perplexed expression. Whatever, I won't overthink it. I'll find out what happened when I ask Wang Dong tomorrow. I've slept for most of the night already, which wasted a lot of time I could have spent doing other things. I need to hurry up and cultivate. After thinking this to himself, Hua Yuao sat down in a cross-legged position and began circulating his soul force throughout his body, following the circulation paths of the mysterious heaven technique as he cultivated. Hua Yuao had only spent 3 seconds meditating when he suddenly opened his eyes wide in shock. His spirit eyes were wide open, but were filled with an inconceivable look. Am I dreaming? Hua Yuao was somewhat in a daze. After he recovered, he hurriedly shut his eyes once again. When another 3 seconds had passed, he opened his eyes again. Only this time his face was full of excitement. Yes, something that Hua Yuao didn't dare believe had happened. When he entered into a meditative state to circulate his soul force, he felt as if his body was in an unprecedented state. If he was to compare his previous circulation of soul force to the crawling speed of a snail, then his current speed of circulation was at least as fast as the climbing speed of a spider. His soul force circulation speed was 3 to 5 times faster and, in addition to that, his soul force had been strengthened by a large amount. When he circulated it now, it felt much less obstructed. As he continued to circulate his soul force, he felt an unprecedented sense of power spread throughout his body, as if all his meridians had been opened. This sort of feeling was simply too wondrous. He also felt the itchy feeling that normally signified growth in all of his limbs and bones. Hua Yuao somewhat impatiently shut his eyes and roused his soul force so that he could circulate it around his passageways. The facts had proven that he wasn't dreaming. Everything was real. Originally, when he was following the circulation paths of the mysterious heaven technique to cultivate, he'd need at least an hour to complete a full revolution. Now, however, he didn't even need to use a quarter of that time to finish a full circulation. Furthermore, the rate at which his soul force grew was several times greater than before. It was no longer the sort of increase that could be counted with traces. It had evolved into something that could be counted in wisps. At the same time, as he was cultivating, Huoyuao discovered that all of his passageways had become unprecedentedly unobstructed. The areas that had been previously obstructed, along with the areas which had been extremely thin and fragile, had all been widened and thickened by a large amount. Furthermore, his passageways had a faint kind of elasticity to them, even if they were hit with several soul force attacks, they still wouldn't be in any danger. Could it be that I've shared my mortal body and bones in a single night? He wasn't even willing to think about what had caused it. He'd never felt such an increase in power in his entire life. It wasn't easy for him to grasp this sort of feeling, so he wasn't willing to give it up no matter what. He unceasingly circulated his soul force throughout his body. As he did so, the circulation speed of the mysterious heaven technique seemed to faintly increase. Furthermore, as the mysterious heaven technique nourished the passageways in his body, that warm and comfortable feeling started to appear again. Huoyuao didn't even know how many times he ended up circulating his soul force, but it was at least until the sky outside gradually brightened. Only when the distant horizon exposed daylight did he wake up from his meditative state. Even after sitting in a cross-legged position for half the night, his legs didn't feel numb or stiff at all. He moved slightly until he was by the window. As he gazed towards the purple chi that gradually appeared in the east, his soul force easily went towards his spirit eyes in a very natural manner as he started cultivating the purple demon eyes. The change that had occurred in his body, as well as the strengthening of his soul force, made everything seem different for Huoyuao. When Huoyuao used his spirit eyes to look attentively towards the layer of purple chi that had risen from the east to start cultivating the purple demon eyes, he clearly felt as if something in his brain had been cut apart. His spirit eyes faintly generated an invisible attractive force that absorbed the purple chi in the same manner a whale would drink water. The outside of his eyes became warm, while their interior remained cool. Huoyuao only felt his spiritual energy spread out in all four directions, quickly exceeding his original limit, reaching a total diameter of 40 meters before stopping. The layer of purple within his eyes had also deepened, and even his skin had a bright and smooth luster to it. His three energies, essence, chi, and spiritual energy, were completely different from yesterday. As he let out a long sigh to exhale a mouthful of impurities from his body, Huoyuao completed his cultivation of the purple demon eyes. Everything around him became increasingly clear. With a thought, Huoyuao withdrew his soul force, and his spirit eyes also returned back to their normal state. Only, his pair of deep blue eyes had become even brighter. He knew that something must have happened to his body. If not, he might not have had such a huge increase in his cultivation from a full half a year of cultivation. Just as Huoyuao's heart was filling with doubt, the room to the dormitory opened. Wang Dong stuck his head through the door and sniffed the room a few times. After confirming that the room didn't smell, he slowly walked in whilst hugging his bedding to his body. He threw the bedding onto his bed and spoke unhappily to Huoyuao, who was standing there. You're really a good one. You've shed your mortal body and bones, but you made me unable to return home. Humph. You're treating me to breakfast today. Huoyuao looked at Wang Dong with a puzzled expression. Wang Dong, just what happened to me? Why was I covered with filth when I woke up? My cultivation has even risen by a large amount. It even feels like I've done what you just said. I have a sort of shedding my mortal body and bones feeling. A simple-looking golden bracelet on Wang Dong's wrist flashed, causing a round metallic ball to appear in his hand, which he then threw towards Huoyuao. Let's see how much your soul force has increased by. This soul tool of mine can test the soul force of people from the 10th to the 30th rank. Just pour your soul force into it. Oh. Huoyuao replied. Gripping the metal ball, he slowly poured his soul force into it. The golden ball started to emit a faint layer of yellow light that gradually began to extend outwards. Next, a number appeared on the surface of the metal ball. At first, it was fixed at 11, but it rapidly jumped up to 12. As the yellow light continued to extend outwards, the 12 also started to gradually tremble. However, Huoyuao was already using all of his strength at the moment. He wasn't able to stimulate the number anymore. Wang Dong's expression had changed into one of astonishment. It really is worthy of being called the mysterious water pill. It's actually increased your soul force by almost 2 ranks in a single night. You're at the peak of the 12th rank now, only a step away from the 13th rank. Huoyuao's eyes went wide. Are you telling the truth? What is this mysterious water pill? Wang Dong snatched the testing soul tool back from Huoyuao and humphed. Then, he said, my soul tool is extremely accurate when testing people's soul ranks. Besides, I don't benefit from lying to you. Speaking of which, you should thank Senior Bei. What sort of relationship do you have with him? He actually just casually slipped you a mysterious water pill that's worth 10,000 gold when you were unconscious. I'm very skeptical as whether or not he gave you the right pill. When he saw Huoyuao's puzzled face, Wang Dong went ahead and explained. The mysterious water pill is an extremely mystical pill. Supposedly, it's a pill that's specific to a certain water type sect. However, I don't know which exact sect that is. When the mysterious water pill is being refined, you need to use the blood essence of 10 or so water type soul beasts, as well as several tens of water type plants. Afterwards, you'll also need to mix them in a specific manner before being able to successfully refine it. Water has a cleansing property, so not only can the mysterious water pill greatly heal you, it can also increase your soul force by a margin. Furthermore, its medicinal properties are extremely gentle, so a soul master of any rank is capable of absorbing its medicinal efficacy extremely well. As for soul masters below the 20th rank, it can increase their soul force by a rank at least. However, its most valuable aspect isn't this. It's the fact that it can cleanse your muscles as well as your bone marrow. When we shower normally, we cleanse the filth off the surface of our bodies. On the other hand, the mysterious water pill cleanses the impurities hidden within our bodies. This mysterious water pill is effective for anyone who takes it. To an extremely talented soul master, it might only be akin to adding flowers to a brocade. However, to a soul master with ordinary talent, it's basically sending them cold during a blizzard. It can expel the impurities within their bodies, as well as nourish their meridians. The increase in potential for an ordinary soul master caused by the mysterious water pill is equivalent to an increase in his innate soul force by an entire rank. In other words, if your innate soul force when your martial soul was awakened was only at the first rank, it'll turn into the second rank after you've taken a single mysterious water pill. This is nothing short of a qualitative growth in one's talent and physique. What Wang Dong didn't know was that his analogy had actually struck the truth. Huoyuao's innate soul force was actually the first rank. However, Huoyuao clearly sensed that the feeling of shedding one's bones he'd felt after taking the mysterious water pill definitely wasn't just as simple as a mere 1 rank increase in his innate soul force. In fact, his cultivation speed had almost quadrupled. Although he wasn't comparable to the likes of Wang Dong and Bei, who were genius soul masters, he'd become equivalent to an ordinary soul master at least. Cultivation wouldn't be as difficult as it had been in the past for him anymore. Eldest senior brother, Huoyuao couldn't help but want to shed a few tears. It was his eldest senior brother who'd given him the mysterious water pill, something that was worth 10,000 gold. This friendship given to him by Bei was deeply engraved into his heart. Huoyuao's luck was truly good. Wang Dong's explanation of the mysterious water pill wasn't incorrect at all. Under normal circumstances, the increase provided by the mysterious water pill would be just as he described. However, Huoyuao had taken the mysterious water pill at the perfect moment. After yesterday's bitter training, his body had received enough tempering that it broke through its limits. He'd essentially completed a thorough warm-up before he consumed the mysterious water pill. Furthermore, his comprehension towards the mysterious heaven technique had caused the technique to permeate throughout his passageways, allowing it to reside in a sort of warm, nourishing state. The overuse of Huoyuao's consciousness had caused him to sink into a comatose state. Due to this, when he absorbed the mysterious water pill, he hadn't been able to deliberately control the efficacy of the mysterious water pill, allowing it to evenly spread throughout his body. The nourishing effect brought about by the mysterious water pill was completely received by his body. There was another important point. The mysterious water pill was a water-type medicinal pill, while his second martial soul that had been bestowed to him by the Sky Dream Iceworm was an ice-type one. Ice was, in and of itself, another state of water, which caused his absorption of the mysterious water pill to be even more fruitful. In addition, following the mysterious water pill's reconstruction destruction of his body. One of the 10 balls of origin energy that the Sky Dream Iceworm had sealed within his body had finally been cracked open by a small amount. A portion of the energy that had spilled out from it had thus fused with his body. Because of this, the increase in his spiritual energy was actually even larger than the increase in his soul force. This was also the reason why his spiritual awareness had expanded from 30 meters to 40 meters. The mysterious water pill could be said to have caused an all-around upgrade to Hua Yuao's body, which was the reason why he'd experienced such a huge change. This would have enormous benefits towards his future cultivation, and even his purple demon eyes had evolved. The purple demon eyes had 4 major realms: surveillance, totality, mustard seed, and boundlessness. When Hua Yua used his spirit eyes to cultivate the purple demon eyes, he basically achieved twice the effects while putting in half the work. As the mysterious water pill had increased his soul force, it had also simultaneously spurred on the Sky Dream Iceworm's origin energy. Thus, when he previously cultivated the purple demon eyes, the origin energy had created a siphoning effect towards the purple chi on the horizon, thereby allowing Hua Yuao's purple demon eyes to directly leap into the totality realm from the perlustration realm. In terms of cultivation speed for the purple demon eyes, he could even be said to be the fastest person in all of history. He'd even exceeded the founder of the Tang sect, Tang Clan. Hua Yua didn't know this yet, but the advancement of his purple demon eyes had caused a large increase in his ability to control spiritual type skills. When he activated soul skills in the future, his soul force consumption would be substantially lessened. As he looked at Hua Yuao's red eyes and slightly blank appearance, Wang Dong patted him on the shoulder and said, "Let's go and get some breakfast. I want to eat double today." Hua Yua laughed. "Sure, you can even eat quadruple if you want today." Wang Dong eyes widened. "You're the pickier." Once he spoke, the two couldn't help but break into laughter. Their embarrassment from last night had disappeared. At such a simple age, the two still had pure hearts. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.